What's up, guys? We are driving to the gym once again, and it's a little bit late. It's actually 5:20 today, so that means we're not going to get back for dinner until at least like 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's going to be a while. So I actually just spent the entire day pretty much working on some video editing, and I've got to say I'm getting really happy with how the videos for the Stocks Now channel are coming out. I think like every video, they just keep getting better. The thumbnails keep getting cleaner and nicer, and I'm very happy with how things are turning out. The videos, of course, like as you try to make better and better videos, it takes longer and longer to make them. So I spent almost the entire day working on a 20-minute banger that it features Warren Buffett. So he did a cameo, he made an appearance in this, and it's actually mostly Warren Buffett in this video. And I think it just turned out really great. So that should be dropping tomorrow. And this morning was actually the first morning that I had the opportunity to use the cold plunge. And that it actually, you couldn't really call it a cold plunge this morning. The water was it was warmer than I expected it to be. We got down to around like 52 degrees at the lows last night, and the water itself was still at 62 degrees. So it was about 10 degrees warmer than the lows we got to, which was a little disappointing. I think that to see actual benefits, you need it to be, around 55 or below. But it was still incredibly cold. I still used it just to see what it would be like. It was really cold. Even water at 62 degrees is quite chilly. My body adapted to it pretty quickly, and it stopped feeling cold while I was in there. And I'm not sure if it's because I was numb or if my body just adapted to it, but it was shockingly cold at first, I will say. And this past weekend, it's Monday, so this past weekend pretty much was just spent moving some stuff. My sister's boyfriend was moving into a new apartment, so I helped with the move there. We did some heavy lifting, and we've been looking, just because we're trying to furnish this new place, we were looking at Facebook Marketplace, and we realized there is tons of free stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So if you guys haven't ever checked that out, if you need like a couch or a dresser or a coffee table, or like even just like bricks to build stuff with, there is so much free stuff listed on Facebook Marketplace. Obviously, it will depend on where you are. If you're in a really rural area, there might not be much, just because there won't be as many people around you. But if you're in a city, then there's tons of people. There's tons of people on Facebook, and they're all posting free stuff. And some of it's for sale. A lot of it, most of it, is for sale, right? There's a price attached, but there is a large amount that's just free that people are just posting because they want someone to come and take it away. They don't want to deal with moving a couch themselves. And it's great. So we got a free couch. We got, I think that's the only thing that we actually picked up, but we're looking at we got a free mattress. But there's a couple of other things that we want. I think we probably want another couch, just to fill up some extra space, maybe replace an old couch that we've had for a while. And then we want some construction materials, which those we probably won't find exactly what we're looking for, but at the very least we can find something that'll do the job. We've got, in our backyard, we recently deconstructed a deck that was back there. It was really old, probably 20 years old at this point, and it had just completely dilapidated. There was no saving this deck. There were holes in it. One of my friends, fell through a little piece, or he didn't fall through, but his leg kind of broke through a little piece, and no one got hurt, but it was a dangerous deck. So we deconstructed it, but it was on a hill, and we decided not to rebuild a new deck there. Instead, what we're going to do is fill in a bit of the area. We're going to build a little wall, and then we're going to fill in, material like dirt and gravel and stuff into that wall to kind of raise the terrain. And then we're going to build a stone patio, and we figure that will last longer than a deck. I know that a well-built deck could last a very long time if you use high-quality wood and you if it's pressure treated, and then if you put a stain on it in a couple of months and, keep up with it. But we wanted something a little bit lower maintenance. So we figured that just, putting down some stones on some flat earth would be a better option, because those will hopefully never really need to be moved as long as we build this foundation correctly. And so if you guys have any building tips, please let me know, because we learned a lot during the deck deconstruction process. We probably wasted a ton of time and a decent amount, we wasted some money on it too. Just with the tools that we didn't need, and overall we learned a lot. So what I want to do now is figure out exactly what needs to be done and do a lot of research into how to properly build a patio before actually doing it. So if you guys have any advice for patio building, specifically for kind of filling in a hill a little bit, because we're trying to build a little retaining wall and then just put dirt behind that, and hopefully that's going to be feasible. I mean, we're going to try to, go down a foot or two and start the wall down there so it kind of supports itself and it doesn't all just fall forward. But if there's any advice other than that, I would love to hear it. And let's see, today, since it is pretty late, there probably won't be much time for anything. Like I said, I'll probably get back around 8 o'clock, and then I'll just make dinner. And honestly, I want to head to bed pretty early, because tomorrow I plan on waking up early enough to, get up, use the cold plunge. It took longer than I thought to use it. I don't know why. It's just like a hassle. You've got to get in a bathing suit or something. I like to rinse off afterwards, because I'm not sure if the water is, it's been sitting outside for a couple of days, and sure, it has a cover on it, but I just don't like the idea of, dunking myself every morning in water that's been sitting around for a long time, and then not just quickly rinsing off. And I don't know. That's just me. Maybe I probably honestly am a little bit too conscious about these cleanliness things. That's one thing that I have over my life been trying to kind of beat back, because I used to be very, you could call it OCD. And, I would always want things to be well organized, which I still do. The organization, I keep. The worrying about cleanliness, that one seems a little bit less necessary, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of the things I worry about aren't actual health risks, and there's no visual impact of these things. Like, when I try to keep things organized, it does end up helping, because one, it saves me time if I'm looking for something, and two, it's very aesthetic to have a clean room and a clean house, and to not just have clutter thrown all over the place. So there are some real benefits to that, even if it's not technically necessary. But with regard to the cleanliness stuff, it's like I'll wash my hands maybe more than I need to, and not like a crazy amount. I'm not a germaphobe by any means, but it's just stuff like, if I go outside, then even if I didn't touch anything other than the doorknob, when I come inside, my hands just feel dirty, and I feel like I need to clean them to actually be confident to, like, touch food and touch my face and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if everyone experiences that. That's just me. I think my mom really ingrained that in me and my sister by just every time we would go outside, she would tell us, wash your hands whenever we would come back inside. So maybe that's just an after effect from that. But, other stuff like not wanting to just sit around in the cold plunge water all day, just having that have dried on me. I feel like I'd feel cleaner throughout the day after taking a shower. Just because I don't know if anything could, grow in the water, like some kind of bacteria or something. I'm not too worried about it, but it does get pretty hot during the days here. So, this water's only a few days old, and honestly, it's probably nothing to worry about, but that's, one of my many faults, you could say, is that I try, could you even view it as a fault, trying to keep things very clean? Probably. Yeah, you could probably view that as a fault. But that's just how I do it. I don't know. Maybe I don't need to break the habit, but I've been trying to become a little bit less worried about that kind of stuff. Honestly, I've been trying to become less worried in general. I mean, my mind instantly goes, it just instinctually goes to kind of paranoid places a lot of the time. For example, just yesterday, when we got the free couch, we ended up looking at the brand, and it turns out that it was an incredibly expensive couch. Like, worth probably multiple thousands of dollars new. Used, who knows? It was in really good condition, but, there were some alterations that had been made to it. It probably wasn't, it's probably not worth, what it used to be worth, but still, it was odd to me once I found out how much it was worth that the guy had been giving it away for free instead of trying to sell it, or I mean, people would have happily taken this couch. And he obviously knew what it was worth. It was his couch. He even asked while we were there, and we didn't think anything of it at the time, but he asked if we were going to resell it. And we were like, no, we're just, we're using it. And he was like, okay, good. And so once we got back, we saw the brand, and we just looked it up and realized what it was worth. And my mind instantly went to just I don't know, it wasn't really a dark place. It was just a place where I was like, well, what was this guy up to giving away such a nice couch? I mean, did he put a camera in there? Is there a microphone in the couch? Is he listening to us? Is there a tracker and he's setting us up to get robbed? That's just weird stuff that popped into my mind. Obviously, most of that is probably not true. There's, an incredibly slim likelihood that any of that is going to be the case. But that's just where my mind naturally wandered. Whereas a lot of people might have been like, oh, great, we just got a really nice couch for free. I was thinking about what could be wrong with this? What's there to worry about? So I have been trying to do less of that. And it's tough. Like, it's just, it's an instinctual thing. And part of that, I think, is because my family, we're survivors of a genocide. I'm 50% Armenian. My dad is 100% Armenian. His grandparents are Armenian, or his parents are Armenian, and his grandparents escaped the Armenian genocide as, as actual refugees. They, walked through a desert and were enslaved and eventually made it to the United States. And so I think that potentially it just took either it took paranoid people to, be some of the ones who would leave their village and try to escape this genocide, or maybe it was just kind of imprinted on their DNA and it just went through the gene line and has made its way into me, that, it pays to be paranoid. But that's my suspicion about why I'm paranoid, that's a fun sentence. My suspicion about why I'm paranoid. But other than that, that's just something that's been on my mind. And, I have been working on, I've been trying to get less like that, because in today's world, we really don't need to be paranoid about things for the most part. If you're just an everyday person, right? Most of the time, no one's out to get me. If I were, say, a general or in an intelligence agency, then different story, right? If I was a president or something, then maybe it pays to be paranoid, not overly so, but somewhat paranoid about, what other countries are up to and who might be a spy and that kind of stuff. Because surely there is a lot of that going on. But for everyday people like, me and you, if you're watching this video, probably, I don't think Trump or Biden are watching this, then you probably don't need to be that paranoid. So that's my message for the day. Don't be paranoid, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.